Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we'll be getting on React chapter 19 and chapter 20. We'll be dealing with listing, reviews, and logging components. So before we go on to the next chapter, our current review date is in a timestamp format. As you can see, it's the timestamp format, right? Now what is happening here? We are formatting the review into a presentable manner. So we used a library called Moment, which is a lightweight JavaScript library for parsing and validating formatting dates. So in our terminal, in my project directory, I installed what I call moment.js in my terminal here. And I run the command called npm I install moment save. Then in our movies, we import moment from moment, and then we pass our date to the moment method. Wait, I just want to see something, guys. Movies list, because we're dealing with movies list. All ratings, target evaluated, search. Okay, let's just go to our movies. Okay, so what is happening here? We're doing a default state and then getting a specific movie's information, and then it renders a specific movie info once on first render. Then we identify the review by adding a review and its user ID, and then putting an index into a splice method to remove the review from the list database. Then it prints a console.log, which is print error message. If it's not matching, then it shows the card display a specific movie information. Then with the reviews, we are mapping through the reviews for the movie and the user and date posted. This is where we are reading. So what is happening in my h5 review.name? So what we're doing is we're passing our date format to the moment method h5 review.name plus review on 3 moment review date. And when I run my app, the review dates should be nicely formatted like this. So they are nicely formatted. It shows the current timestamp in the Gmail. Now let's log out and create another username. That's what I'm going to do. Login mark90 gmail.com. Then we submit. Let's wait for it to load. Nice. Now we go here. We're gonna add another review and say it was fearless storage. Right, we submit. That submission is happening in my movies.js. All the process is happening in my movies.js, because what are we doing? We are listing the reviews. So it lists the reviews, and what I can do is I can edit and delete. That's where the buttons are coming from. Let's go and look where the edit and delete buttons are coming from. So we have the edit and delete button. The edit and delete button are coming from here, which is the edit. Where's the delete button? We have the reviews button, we have the edit, link to delete. Let's go to our movies list, edit. We have our search button, we have our clear button, get the next results. Okay, add reviews. I have my add props. Okay, save review editing. We have our edit button. Get an existing review ID, and we can create a new review. Then let me see. This is my contact page, movies.js. Yeah, my delete button is in here, movies.js. Just looking for. I have my logo, contact page, movies list. Okay. I guess it's not. It is not in. Oh, it is in my services. Okay, I'm importing APIs in here. Now it's in my movies.js. So that was chapter 9. Now we are going to our login.js component, which is chapter 20. And we're gonna go to our const movies. Const movies. Yeah, const name, set name. Const login. Here we are doing a default state. What are we doing? We set the initial name and the ID to be an empty string, and our simple login form consists of a username and an ID field. So the onChange name, what it does, let's go to the second line. The onChange name, what it does is that the methods bind the field values to the name and the ID state variables, right? And we go to our const login props. We go to our const login props.login, which is the name and the name ID, and our props.history push. What is happening here? When we click on the submit button, it calls the login, and notice that when we call props.login, but who are we passing this login function into the login components? So I'm going to first show you the front end what we're doing. So what do they say? When we click the submit button, it calls login, and notice that when we call props login, but who passes this login function into the login component? I would say the AP, the app.js. Now let's add the review and say bad. Click submit. Back to movie. So it calls the login. Now let's go here. So the question was, who passes this login function into the login component? So if we recall, in our app.js we had the following root, which is the root path, right? Let's go to our app.js, which is root path login, right? Which is here. We have the following root path login render props, right? And the login is defined in the app.js. So as an async function login user to 3. So the login component, we call the login function in app.js, right? And set the app's user state. Then we thus then able to pass on the logged in user to another component, which is add review movies. After login, we then redirect to the main page with props history.push, which is what the dash. So let me show you in the front end what I'm talking about. Let's log out. I'm going to make another user. So what are they saying here? The user, so the login component, we call the login function in app.js, and we set the app's user state. Then we thus then able to pass on the login user to the other components, which is add review and movies. So now let's log in. We say, for example, Tabo 76. and put in 334. Then we click submit. It's gonna show all the movies, right? So it passes the logged in user to the other components, which is the movies components. Here, what are we seeing? We are seeing, what component is this? It's called the movies component. Now, let's go and see the reviews components. These are my reviews components, my add reviews components. So after login, we then redirect to the main page with the props.history.push. So this is my props.history.push, which is happening. It is happening in here in my localhost 3000 movies. So that was chapter 12, learning how the login component works and how we set the initial name and the ID to be an empty string, and our simple login form consists of our username ID fields, and how the onChange name and the onChange ID methods bind together in the field values to the name and the ID string. I hope you understood what I explained to you guys. I just want to tell you what useState does. So useState, it initializes the state of the variable. So it initializes the state of the initial values. That's what I can say. I thank you for viewing my YouTube channel, and I hope you click that subscribe button to view more of my content. Thank you.